Today, we're going to be doing a poached egg in the simplest fashion and a hollandaise, because who doesn't like eggs Benedict? We're going to take it a step further. There are a few common times and temperatures for poached eggs. You can argue they're not actually poached because they'll still be in the shell, but we're going for the end result of what you expect when you get a poached egg. So we're going to call them poached eggs, all right? Whether you like it or not. But we're gonna go with 3 different times and temperatures that are common for doing these poached eggs to experiment with what you like best. So we'll show you the results. You can judge for yourself which yolk you like and take it from there. But we're doing the hollandaise too because it's a really convenient way to just drop in your ingredients into a jar while you're poaching that egg, and the hollandaise only takes as long as your eggs take. Perfect. There's no extra waiting around or what have you, so why not just cook that hollandaise while you're cooking that egg? Makes a lot of sense. Now, the other advantage of sous vide versus other types of cooking is, sure, you can master that technique of poaching an egg, but it becomes really difficult to poach lots of eggs at once with your traditional method of poaching. So here, you can poach many eggs at once. You can do a dozen eggs in the bath. You can do more than that, provided you have the right amount of water. But as usual, sous vide comes through when you're trying to cook in bulk or for many people as opposed to 1 or 2 people. This is the easiest way to a perfectly poached egg. The 3 different times and temperatures we're gonna do are 145 for 45 minutes. We're gonna do 167 for 12 minutes and 167 for 13 minutes. Now, these are those 3 common times and temp combinations that I talked about. I've already got the 145 bath going in an effort to try and coordinate when these are done. So that egg's already in the bath, as you can see, and we will drop in the 12-minute and 13-minute egg in just a bit. But first, I want to talk about the hollandaise. Let's get that started. We'll drop that in, and then we'll cook the shorter time eggs. Okay, so the hollandaise recipe is really simple. So what we have here, I put in the mason jar a stick of butter, and then we have the juice of half a lemon, as well as 2 tablespoons of water. So roughly 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of water. That's what's in here, so we'll just drop it in there. And then we have the yolk of 2 eggs. Put that in there. And a little salt and pepper to taste. I've got roughly a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper. I like mine peppery, but do it to your taste. We'll just drop that in. And that's all you need to do. So there's no need to mix it or anything at this point. I'm just gonna put the lid on and we'll drop it in. Again, like I said, you could do it. I'm gonna drop it in the 167 bath since the 145's already been going. You could do it in either one. So whatever the duration of your eggs, as long as you cook it that long, you're good. So there we go. I'll weight it down just to be safe. Okay, so now we're ready to put in our eggs. I just grabbed them from the fridge. So these are right from the fridge because that does matter when you're thinking about the timing of these eggs. So I'll put them in quickly together. I'll set my timer and we'll go from there. We'll see what they're like in 13 minutes. That should coordinate really well with that 45-minute egg. So I think we're doing good here in terms of coordination. Hey Siri, set timer for 12 minutes.
12 minutes, counting down.
Hey Siri, set timer for 13 minutes.
13 minutes, counting down.
All right, so we got our 12-minute egg on the far side of me, 13-minute egg on the near side of me. I'll make sure to keep that straight. We'll see what we get. Now, while these eggs are cooking, let's talk about the eggs a little bit and what presents the challenge with the egg in terms of cooking it. It's not like meat where you're trying to get one consistent temperature all the way through the egg. With the egg, you've got 3 separate parts to it, and we always traditionally think of the white and the yolk, which is appropriate, but the white actually has 2 parts. One is the loose white, which is when you crack that egg, what runs all over the place. That's the loose white. Then there's the tight white, which is within the membrane, hugging sort of that yolk, right around that yolk. And the important part about these 3 parts is because they're different structures, they cook at 3 different temperatures, or they set at 3 different temperatures, right? So the tight white is what sets first, followed by the egg yolk, and then the loose white. So that's what presents the challenge with eggs versus meat or what have you, where you can cook it to one uniform temperature. Oh, and while we're on that topic, the reason we go with 45 minutes on the 145 egg is that's roughly the amount of time it takes to cook fully through the egg. So what we're essentially doing with that 145 egg is trying to get to, for the heat to reach all the way to the center at that 145 degrees. That's how we choose that 45-minute level. Now with the 167 egg, again, we're not trying to cook to a consistent temperature all the way through. So this is more like shocking it and finding that right combination of time and temperature to where the white is set, the tight white is set the way you want it, and the yolk is loose the way you want it for a poached egg. So that's what we're playing with here with these 3 combinations. So while these eggs are cooking, I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff ready for the eggs Benedict, so we can have a beautiful plate of eggs Benny, because who doesn't like that? Okay, so our 12-minute egg is done. Let me get that out quickly. Obviously the 13-minute egg will soon follow. I've got an ice bath prepared here. And you want to put it in the ice bath because you want to prevent any carryover cooking. So we're just going to keep it in this ice bath for a couple minutes, or a few minutes, and that'll prevent that carryover cooking so we can get things precisely how we want. Now we're at 13 minutes. Grab that egg, again into the ice bath, and then like 40 seconds for that 3rd egg. So we timed things pretty well. Go us. And now it's time to take out the 3rd egg. Grab that one. Again, this was in for 145 for 45 minutes. All right, so we've got our 3 eggs. I've got some English muffin buttered up. So let's get things plated to start with. I also cooked some Canadian bacon. So we are gonna have some eggs Benny. This Canadian bacon smells so good. I was very tempted. I should have made an extra one to eat away from this so I could have it a little soon. Got our Canadian bacon on our buttered English muffin. And now, all right, here we go. So I'll put this front and center. So there's your, see if I can keep it on. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that onto the, well, we're gonna leave it as is. But I'll make it so you can see it a little better there. I don't wanna risk puncturing it yet. And then we've got the 13-minute egg here. And now you can put these on. Oh, that looks great. Okay, and then you can put these on like a, if you want to crack them over a slotted spoon and then place them on, you can do that. That way the runny white or the loose white isn't set yet. So I'm gonna keep these in order so we don't mess them up. So that way the runny white, you can lose that if you don't want that to affect the bread or the meat or your dish, essentially. And the beautiful thing too about cooking these sous vide, or you can have these on hand. You can put them away in the fridge. They'll last a good 3, 5, 7 days. Then you always have poached eggs on hand. And here's a 45-minute 145 egg. There you go. And then right out the bat, I can see like there's more white involved there. So I think the whites got, or the loose whites actually seem to have set a little bit on that method. So there's one difference I noticed right off the bat. But let's cut into these. So here is a 145. I'm gonna do my best not to, okay. Let me see what I can do here. So here's the 145 egg. And you can see how gooey that is. Here's the, sorry, that's 167 at 12, and here's the 167 for 13. So you can see the yolk is more set there. So at 167 for 12, the yolk is very runny. At 167 for 13, it's much more congealed than the runny yolk. It's still runny, just like a poached egg should be, but it is much less runny than the 12-minute egg. And then for the, let's look at the 145 for 45 minutes. And that is, ooh, that's really runny too. So, and it's probably between these two, honestly. So if you were to go call it 12 and change minutes, you probably end up more with an egg like this. But those are your 3 eggs, so. Beautiful. I can't wait to try it. Now, let's not forget about our Hollandaise. So we have Hollandaise over here. We'll take that out. We're gonna open it. As you can see, the Hollandaise sauce is separated. No big deal. We've got our immersion blender. We're gonna get everything together. Looking beautiful. Give it a little taste. Lovely. And I should have mentioned, if you don't have lemon on hand, you can use your favorite vinegar. Just use 2 tablespoons of it like you do the lemon juice. Perfect substitute. Really good. Love it. Amazing. Now we'll just spoon some Hollandaise over those eggs. And we have a perfect eggs Benny. So I'm cutting into the 167, the 13-minute 167 egg here, and it's runnier than you first appreciate, or I was communicating to you at first. So it is a very nice texture. It's just the slightest bit jammy, but I want to give this a taste here. Get some ham and the egg. Bread, of course. That is so good. So good. Now let's try, let's cut into, the egg is so on the 12-minute 167 egg, everything's just kind of run. So it is really runny, but it's the yolk, we're gonna give it a taste here. But the yolk, I mean, it certainly seems the way you want it. Yeah, it's not overly runny, but it did fully run off the English muffin and Canadian bacon. Oh. That's so good. You're not gonna go wrong with any of these. It's just the consistency that you want the yolk. Let me see if I notice anything different with the 145 here. Now, again, so on the 145, the consistency of the yolk is right in between that 12-minute and 13-minute egg at 167. And it's almost, I mean, like, I really like this. It's not to say you can't get there with the 12 and 13-minute egg too, but this is looking really nice. Like I said, you have a little more white that's set with the 45-minute egg, so guys, you can't go wrong. All 3 of these are great. Just comes down to how you like your yolk. And like I said, you get a little more white. At least it appears that way from my experience. You get a little more white with the 45-minute egg. but they all taste fantastic, and it's just a matter of whether you like it a little runnier or a little jammier. That's up to you. Do it how you like it. I hope this was helpful.